Hello, in this video I will be talking about the occupation and annexation of Hawaii that took place from 1893 to 1898 and some of the significant events that took place, starting with how Queen Liliuokalani was overthrown. In January of 1893, a group of U.S. sugar plantation owners and investors wanted to make more money from Hawaii's sugar plantations, so they formed a group called the Committee of Safety, which was led by Sanford Dole. And staged a coup with the support of American troops. They took control and would go on to illegally abolish the Hawaiian monarchy. Dole was born in Hawaii from American parents who were missionaries. He would go on to form the Committee of Safety, a group of 13 men who supported the annexation of Hawaii. The group was also formerly known as the Annexation Club. Although I'll be focusing on events taking place between 1893 and 1898, there are a lot of important details that took place before and after that time, so I'll be explaining some of the key parts of what led up to this moment in history so we can have a better understanding of why these events took place. One of these key moments was the signing of the Bayonet Constitution in 1887, when King David Kalakaua was coerced to sign a constitution that was used to remove the Hawaiian monarchy's power leading up to the occupation and annexation. The constitution was also used as a way to give settlers more rights. Over in America, after the Committee of Safety took charge, President Cleveland, who was skeptical of how the Committee of Safety gained control over Hawaii, wanted James Blount to investigate what happened before he would agree to annex Hawaii. In 1893, the Blount Report, also known as Affairs in Hawaii, was released. Blount found that the American military and diplomats had overstepped. In the end, although they didn't give Queen Liliuokalani her power back, President Cleveland also didn't go ahead with annexing Hawaii after reading the Blount Report, but still wouldn't stop Hawaii from becoming a territory in 1898 or from Sanford Dole declaring Hawaii a republic in 1894 and himself the president of the Republic of Hawaii, a title he held until 1898. In response to the Blount Report, the Morgan Report was released in 1894, which was ordered by the Senate. It was used to discredit Blount's report. In the Morgan Report, it was found that everyone except the Queen was in the right. It was also said in the report that the U.S. troops did not have an impact on the occupation of Hawaii. Back in Hawaii, after the takeover led by Dole and the findings of the Blount and Morgan reports had been released, a group of the Hawaiian people tried to fight back in 1895, which resulted in a failed insurrection and ultimately led to the Queen being arrested, charged, and put under house arrest. During her arrest, she was forced to renounce her position as Queen. Robert Wilcox, someone who was still loyal to the Queen, led rebellions against the new government of Hawaii. His group, consisting of more Hawaiians with the same ideals, started fighting back as far as 1888 in retaliation for the Bayonet Constitution, and continued to fight until 1895. These rebellions were called the Wilcox Rebellions, named after the man who led them. By 1896, the Hawaiian monarchy had been dissolved, and in 1898, Hawaii would be annexed, which means that a territory adds another territory to theirs. In this case, the United States add Hawaii. Now we'll go into some of the reasons why the occupation and annexation happened, from political and military issues to sugar plantations. Even though the occupation was illegal, there was a group in Hawaii that supported American interests. Starting in the early 1800s, when missionaries first started traveling to Hawaii, a result of their influence was that some of the upper-class foreigners who lived in Hawaii supported the occupation and wanted Hawaii to be annexed because it was in favor of their business and political ideals. This is how the Committee of Safety was formed. Another push to annex Hawaii came during the Spanish-American War in 1898 because it would benefit the military. This was reason enough for American government to pass the okay to move ahead with annexing Hawaii. The occupation and annexation of Hawaii also shows us a glimpse of how American foreign policy was shaped, like how all it took was for the economical and political interests to align for the U.S. to decide to legally occupy Hawaii, and it shows what kind of effects occupation can have on a country's culture. Hawaii faced many effects throughout the occupation and annexation, some of which they are still struggling with today. After the annexation, American businesses and trade in Hawaii boosted the economy, which prompted an influx of foreigners to move into Hawaii. Soon, Hawaiians started to lose land to the settlers and foreigners, which quickly became a problem. One that still reflected in modern-day Hawaii. Along with the shifting economy, the Hawaiian people faced rising prices, which only grew worse as time went on. Hawaii also lost its independence, and as a result, the Hawaiian people lost large parts of their culture. For instance, Hawaiians were forced to stop speaking their native language. In 1896, an English-only law was put in place in public schools. Eventually, over the generations, the number of Hawaiians who could speak their native language would dwindle until the language almost went extinct. Luckily, around the 1980s, efforts were put in place to help keep the language alive. For example, they started offering schools that only taught in the Hawaiian language, allowing kids to be able to grow up knowing their native language. The U.S. also exploited Hawaii's natural resources, such as sugar, pineapple, and whale oil, until technology and trade improved, which left tourism as one of the major sources of profit. By 1898, Hawaii had undergone an occupation by the U.S., which resulted in their monarchy being dissolved, and was now officially made into a U.S. territory. It wouldn't be until August of 1959 that Hawaii would win the fight to become the 50th state of America. Being a state means that it has its own political establishment, which comes with more rights and representation, while the territory is under federal control. Hawaii had to fight for so long, largely due to racism, discrimination, and other setbacks, which shows how long the ramifications of Hawaii being annexed have lasted.